back. Now, a crumbling steel industry is bad news for South Africa's already frail economy, with the economic climate making things hard for the industry to survive. Citing this, steelmaker ArcelorMittal recently announced the closure of its long steel products units, which may result in 3,500 jobs being shed. In the meantime, there's growing concern that the Steel Master Plan, which was aimed at creating an environment for the industry to thrive, has collapsed. President of the Steel and Engineering Industries Federation of Southern Africa, Elias Monage, joins us with more detail. Thank you so much for your time, Elias. Now, it really seems that the big wake-up call has been the fire that ArcelorMittal is under at this point. And I mean, to really understand the gravity of the headwinds, we need to understand the weight of ArcelorMittal in the steel industry. Lay the table for us on that role.
I think good afternoon to you and the viewers in different parts of the country. We need to understand the role of ArcelorMittal that it plays in the country and in the continent, because it's a primary steel producer. That's the first thing. Secondly, it produces steel from iron ore, not from the recycled products, which is scrap. That's one thing. The second part of the decision by ArcelorMittal is based on number of reasons. Firstly, is around the problem on the logistics, which is the Transnet problem. The second part is around the ban of scrap by the Minister of Trade and Industry and Competition from last year, November, at the back of vandalism of the infrastructure. And the third reason from ArcelorMittal is the energy crisis that we're faced with in terms of load shedding. Now, one of the critical areas from the Steel Master Plan is around how do we create a local demand for the steel industry, because for the past period we have seen there is a decline and a flat requirements for that industry in terms of the demands is very low. If in certain segments is non-existent. Now, the closure, the announcement by ArcelorMittal that they're looking at closing down Newcastle operation and Vereeniging, it basically means for Newcastle, it becomes a disastrous because it then means the entire town is going to be shut down. And there are major implications, not only about the 3,500, those are the direct numbers. The numbers that we're looking at is more than 50,000 if we're then to look at the numbers, both the indirect and the entire supply chain. If we're then to close down Newcastle, because it then means that town will become a ghost town. The second problem is that if we then shut down the Vereeniging operation, is more numbers, because it then means the ability for the rail industry in this country to have metal supplied by them is become zero. It then means we need them to import that. Now, as an industry, we're then looking at various things. Firstly, we're then saying we need them to put a team together to look at a possible way of resuscitating metal so that we don't lose the primary steel producer in the country. And secondly, we don't lose those jobs, including even reducing Newcastle to be a ghost town. And as a result of that, we're putting a team together then to engage both relevant government ministers, including even metal overseas, so that we need them to revive that. The second part is around the collapse of the master plan, the steel master plan. Basically saying, because the minister is not taking this thing seriously, it then means we're going to have a serious problem with the industry, in the sense that the collapse of the steel master plan, we are not going to have the entire policy configuration that is aligned and complementary to the industry. And the third part is around the continuation of the ban of scrap. And we're then saying the minister, as a matter of agency, must lift the scrap ban because it's not contributing to the sustainability of the industry. It's not even assisting in terms of capping vandalism of the infrastructure. And these are the reasons why we are saying it basically means the steel master plan is going to collapse. And that's the reason why, as an organization, we're then saying to the minister and government at large, can they uplift the ban? And then we then have a team of expert people from the industry that can assist the vandalism and the monitoring of this thing together with the security cluster, so that these issues are then mitigated and dealt with in a proper and appropriate way, so that we then see the sustainability of the steel industry, including even the employment of people in this sector, including even the supply chain. These are some of the issues that we are raising with the minister. And we have also issued a cautionary statement that if the minister does not uplift the ban on the 15th of December, it then means as a sector will be approaching various courts in terms of setting aside the minister's ban because it will be unlawful. It then prohibits the right of companies then to trade because that is a constitutional right. These are some of the issues that we are raising, and we are aware that we need then to move with speed if indeed we want then to revive and resuscitate the matter, not to close down, so that we move with speed. It requires agility. It requires a decision to be taken expeditiously by the role players. That's the context in which we are raising these issues as a sector.
Well, this is all we have time for this afternoon. Thank you so much for painting that picture for us. That was Elias Monage, President at SEIFSA.